What is up, everyone? Welcome to Reality Room Podcast with Paul.
And Dave.
Bringing you the latest on Survivor, Season 35, Heroes vs. Healers vs. Hustlers, finale recap.
Finale.
Yeah, it's been a long season. Like the beginning, wasn't too into the beginning, but it really hyped up during the middle and the end, the past few episodes especially. And oh my God. Very surprised by the end. Very surprised by the final four twist. Not surprised by the winner, based on who
Everything.
would on that winner. But anyway, we're gonna break everything down for you guys. And if you have any questions, we be sure to talk to us down in the chat. We're always welcome to answer any questions. If you have any funny comments you want to make, we love to hear from you guys. Okay. So Dave,
Last time to do it.
First impressions on the finale. What did you think?
I'll go with what I said last week. I knew Ryan wasn't going to win, and Ryan did not win. That was the only thing I could think of. I wanted to know what the hell this advantage was, what kind of crazy twist it was going to be. It was definitely not what I was what I was expecting. But impression coming into the finale, something big is going to happen, and Ryan's not going to win.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Ryan looked like he had the biggest tree to climb here, and he even acknowledged this in the episode. He's like, "Yeah, I probably don't have a shot." Especially I think his only way that he thought he could have won was if he won the final immunity challenge, and if Devin won the fire making challenge, and that way he probably would have had an argument there. But we'll get to that. We're going to recap the entire episode. Be sure to ask questions. Yes, it was $1 million mistake bringing Ryan a vote for Chrissy. Oh, that's actually true. Very, very good point by Patty. Good point. All right, so let's let's break it down from our last tribal council. Okay. So we
Let's
just
do it.
Yeah. So we're at the final five right now. They get back from tribal. Ben just used his idol, and they just voted out Ashley. And Ben pulled out his idol before the votes came out. I don't believe that's ever been done in Survivor history before.
No, Jeff even said that. He said tonight that was a first.
Yeah, played the idol before, and so they go back to camp, and everyone's just like, they're just like, whatever, basically. Chrissy's like, oh, Ben's not going to find another idol. Ben immediately goes and starts looking for an idol. Like, immediately. He just starts curtailing out there.
And he finds it.
What did you think about Ben just going out like immediately, like didn't even stop right when they get back from camp?
It's exactly what he needed to do. Otherwise, he would not have made it this far. If they wanted him out, he knew he needed it to survive. I mean, the moment I saw Ben go out and he started going for the idol again, I'm like, outlast. That's literally what Ben's doing right now.
Jack just asked us in the chat, do you all think Ben is one of the best players of all time? I don't think he's one of the best players of all time because he didn't play and manipulate people in the way that other past greats have done in the past. He's a very, very good player. I put him up there with probably like Russell Hantz. Like very, very good, like good at finding idols, getting the pressure off of himself. He really got lucky towards with that final four twist as well. You have to break that down too, because if that twist wasn't there, he also would not be in the final three in the first place. But he is definitely a very, very good player. Had a strong hold on the entire season and found idols the last three votes that he needed them. Dave, thoughts on the same question?
Yeah, so I mean, the way like having just come like right off watching the show, I get the whole outwit, outlast, outplay thing. And the problem with it is Ben didn't really have a social game. Joe even said it, Ben, you have no social game at all. So no, I feel like you really do need to have those three core qualities, and Ben did not have all those three core qualities. And like you just said, Paul, the whole thing is that Ben even survived just because of the twist. That was it. If the twist was never in play, Ben would have never made it.
Plus, Ben only got 5 votes at the end.
Yeah.
It was 5-2-1. Better. I mean, there've been players that have gotten every vote before. In fact, that usually is what happens. But no, Ben only got 5 out of the 8, which still got him the win. But I don't think I don't think I would consider him to be one of the best players of all time. I wouldn't put him
I,
Rob Mariano territory.
I mean, Ben's definitely a legend in his own right, but he's not the best player that ever was.
Jack Carney says, yeah, he got lucky, but it looked really scripted, the whole upside down U thing. I couldn't believe that. I mean, but that wasn't the only example of that happening in the challenge. But we'll get to that. Let's get back to the standard recap. Okay, so
let's go.
Right, so basically, Ben tries to find the idol. He ends up finding it, like Dave mentioned before. Good for him, honestly. He finds it finds a symbol in the sand, digs around, and is able to find it. The next morning, Chrissy approaches Ben with an attempt to basically say, "Hey, Ben, how about we bring all the strongest people into the final 3?" Kind of her way of saying, "Oh, if Ben wins immunity, I don't want Ben to vote for me." What do you think on that move on Chrissy's part? Was he making up with Ben?
It makes up. It's basically her trying to do that. The strongest people means, hey, just throw out Ryan. The point is that it places her not at the bottom, which is what she needs to be, just not at the bottom.
Ben realizes that this is all like baloney. He's like, I don't trust Chrissy at all. I know exactly what she's doing. And I still want to vote her out. This next tribal council with the idol. So in that scenario, I think if Chrissy didn't win immunity, Chrissy could have very well have gone home that round.
I agree with that. It's possible that they might have just sent her out that round, and Mike would have maybe made it a little further.
Right. I mean, Mike could have won immunity. It could have been anyone at that point. So let's get to the immunity challenge. We're not going to talk too much about what the challenge was, but what we do know is that, well, we all know what happens, but Chrissy wins immunity, and she really does need immunity at this point because Ben is planning to basically use his idol on himself again and vote one of them off. What did you think when Chrissy won immunity? Because it seems like women have dominated the challenges this season. That's certainly. Go ahead.
They did. It's what Cole said at the final tribal. Cole even said, he's like, I'm the only guy who won immunity the entire time. And women you have Desi, you have Ashley, Chrissy. They all won. So it made sense. I mean, Chrissy would have probably been the best target to go for because Chrissy's already won 3, and now she's, up to 4 by the end of the show.
Are you surprised by Chrissy winning these challenges? Because when we first started watching this season, I remember the first episode. She's throwing up at the challenge, and I know this was mentioned like 5 times by Jeff, but like we didn't see her as strong at all. We thought it was between the first vote was between her and I don't even remember the other girl's name now, but it was between those two of who was the weakest, and we thought Chrissy was the weakest.
I think it's interesting though because like the way you see it with Chrissy is. Chrissy's smart. We all know that. And there's no denying Chrissy's incredibly smart strategic player. But one of the reasons why is because I feel like the challenges we saw this season, a lot of them had multiple parts. And a lot of them had the puzzle challenges. And Chrissy's good with the puzzles. So I think that's why it doesn't really shock me when there's a puzzle at the end. Because for whatever reason, almost all these challenges, everyone does make it to the last leg of the race.
Yeah, that's very.
And then that's usually where she gets to dominate.
Yeah, that's very true. Chrissy is definitely shown to be very, very capable of doing complex puzzles. So, and good on her. We just had Samwise Gamgee in the chat saying, "Been a super fan since the start, and this is the worst episode I've ever seen. I didn't even feel like I was watching Survivor." You know what? I know exactly what you're talking about, and I'm going to get to the point that I think you're referencing here. When it comes up with the twist with the final 4. Okay, so Chrissy wins immunity. Devin kind of has the suspicion that Ben might have an immunity necklace. Chrissy comes up with a weird plan to pretend she found the idol using that fake idol that Ryan gave to her. We knew this would play at some point. I remember you were saying like episode 2, you were like, oh, they got to bring this up at some point. And we had people in the chat saying the same thing, and it did. Unfortunately, Ben had already.
By the time it was brought up, it was just this was like the worst time. I mean, I guess I can't blame them because they knew that. Oh, like because we knew that Ben already had it, but everybody else didn't know that. But it just looks so dumb. They were doing such terrible acting too, because Chrissy's like, okay, who wants this? After Ben like already is like pulling out an idol right now.
Penny made a good point with what you were saying about the puzzles before. It's because because she's a mathematician, and puzzles are basically just math, like when you think about it.
Fair enough. We'll go with it. I mean, she won most of the puzzle challenges, so it seems pretty plausible.
Yeah, that's exactly right. All right, so Ben's literally like walks away and laughs when Chrissy shows him the fake eye. He's like, what nonsense is this? Oh, you got it.
It was just ridiculous.
I think that was a great line for that vote. You have a 1 for now.
Terrible, honestly.
It really is.
It just the acting of them trying to be like, "Hey, we got this fake idol," was just so bad. It's another reason why I'm happy. I think this is another reason why I'm happy with the outcome, because Ben at least was a good actor too.
Yeah, Ben was a very, very good actor. I've said it before about the previous episodes. There's been some pretty bad acting in Survivor history.
But the fake idol was just so painful to watch.
I don't think it was that badly done. I don't know. There's just something about Chrissy's personality that doesn't make her seem very genuine when she talks to people. Like
no.
Like
yeah.
Like when she talked to Ben, for instance, it didn't really seem like she wanted to rekindle the friendship. It looked like she wanted to, whatever.
Because she's like a bad liar, and that's what she even said towards the end. Like, she stayed loyal to her team, and like she showed her loyalty. It was so out there. Like, she's consistent. That way, whenever she tries to lie, the lies are inconsistent with her actions. So she doesn't even have the confidence because she realized that everyone sees it.
That's great. That's very well put, Dave. Very, very well put. Good job. All right, so
that's why I'm here.
All right, let's jump into the tribal. Let's jump into the tribal now. So, like I said, Devin had a suspicion that Ben might still have the idol, and he talked to Ryan, and he's like, "Hey, I think I might do this." Okay. Mike also says in his little interview with Jeff after the vote even happened, "I was also thinking about writing Devin's name down." Pretty interesting, but obviously that didn't end up happening. So the vote comes out.
I'm going to be honest, though, just with Mike even saying that he was considering writing Devin's name down. I mean, maybe it's because like the things he says and like stuff he posts on Twitter. It wouldn't shock me if he was just saying that in the moment, you know?
I don't think so, because you have a lot of time to think about this. You know, you have so much time to like mull it over. Like I don't know how many hours they have between votes, but they certainly have plenty of time. So it's not surprising that Mike came up with like that as a scenario in his head, because you're constantly coming up with scenarios in Survivor. Drinking game. Take a shot every time they said in the finale that Chrissy won 4 challenges.
You want to add to that? Mention how many times she threw up. We'll be dead.
Right. How many times she threw up first episode, ends up winning 4 immunity challenges. Gotta love it. Okay, so tribal. Ben ends up playing an immunity necklace. Devin does vote for Mike. And Ben votes for Devin. So we have a tie vote. We know from the previous episodes that the final 3 was already formed between Chrissy, Devin, and Ryan. So we kind of get an inkling that Mike's going to be the one voted out, and that's exactly what happens. So Mike gets voted out on a 2-1 vote after the revote, which is interesting because Ben finally didn't have something go his way, which I think is important.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't have it go his way, but at the same time, I mean, he kind of knew it was a lost cause. I mean, did he really think he could carry Mike over Devin?
Yeah.
Fate was sealed then, but I mean, at least he got what he wanted in terms of like, hey, I made the vote go this way. So he still had control over it.
And he's $1 million richer, so.
Yeah.
I guess
all his personal information on the check.
I love that. You're basically saying, don't open the check here.
Yeah.
Open the envelope
I
here.
wonder if they like walk out with security because I mean, like,
Oh, yeah,
they,
absolutely.
they need it. I would hope so.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's got his boys with him. They're not going to let anything happen to
That's true. All right.
him.
They get back from this vote. Um, they're happy to be in the final four. So Mike leaves, and they're happy to be in the final four. They're just like, hey, we're here, we made it. The three are basically like, we have to beat Ben in this challenge. That's the only way to do it. And I don't know. What do you think about this final four?
Final four. I mean, I wanted to see Mike go further. I just really liked the guy. I don't know why. I just did. He was fun to watch. But it was a worthy Final Four. That's what I can say. I mean, I still don't think Ryan was worthy of being there until he went on with a social game, which he's not wrong about. He did have a really good start that carried him all the way through, but
Ryan is
I
such
was satisfied.
very good speaker.
Ryan is what?
Ryan is such a good speaker, like absolutely amazing.
I
And
was impressed.
I'm gonna get to who he reminds me of when we get to the final tribal talk. All right, so let's just jump into the immunity challenge. It was a cluster basically, like this whole immunity challenge. It was like, oh, it was Ben's about to win 5 times.
This is a good one to watch. I'll tell you that.
I know. I sat through. You sit through the whole thing, and you're on the edge of your seat basically. Because you're looking at the clock and you're like, oh wow, it's like 9:30 already, and they're like only finishing up the challenge. And like, okay, wow, that's pretty okay. So you're
Yeah.
thinking that the challenge is going to be like a short one, just because of the time slot. They have 2 hours slated, and then an hour for the after show. You're like, okay, so it's going to be a quick challenge. No, it's a challenge. It's like 10, 15 minutes long. Absolutely incredible.
God. The whole thing with the upside down U though, I can't get over that kind of a mistake. I mean, it didn't cost him in the long run, but like, oh my God.
Oh, what I have to say about that is there were other people did have like their letters on, like upside down at other points of the challenge. Like they showed that in like the cuts. So it's not like it's not like Ben's the only person who made that mistake. It's just
But
like
he's the only one that made the mistake with everything there, and that was the one thing wrong.
exactly. Patty says Ryan social game lost after merge. Absolutely. Ryan so
100%.
Ryan social game got him to the merge, and Ryan social game kept him until maybe like the final like 8 or 9
Till the final three.
in a good position.
Well,
And then his lack of skills kind of goaded him to the final three.
but while I 100% agree with the fact that Ryan, like the merge killed Ryan's social game, you have to admit that his social game was that good that it was able to carry him all the way to the end, even after he screwed up so terribly.
Yeah, I mean it's a
I
combination.
think that says something about how good his start was. Because like when the show started, I was loving Ryan and like how good his game was. I like the whole Ryan Devin bromance. I'm glad to see it came back full circle at the end. But
They're good friends.
yeah, no, like yeah, they both didn't win. I was rooting for them too.
Patty says I already got half of the players of Ghost Island following me, learning some awesome things. It's going to be a good season. Ooh, there you go. I'm excited. I'm excited for Ghost Island. Although
I
I'm
am very hyped for that.
very surprised about like the setting of the season. It's an interesting name.
And
Sure.
spring, so it's like we're gonna have Amazing Race, Celebrity Big Brother, and Survivor Ghost Island, and you guys should follow us for all of that. Hashtag plug.
Yeah, please, the Amazing Race or Big Brother. Also, stick around for those as well. Okay, so back to Survivor. So it's Final Four, and Chrissy wins immunity again after that long immunity challenge. Basically tying the most immunity wins by a female in a season. At 4, take a shot.
Take a shot.
And she also wins the secret advantage. Now, this secret advantage is total. I literally wrote down. I stopped taking notes after she read it, And the last thing I wrote is secret advantage is bullshit. And then I stopped taking notes because I'm like, Ben won. It doesn't matter what happens. I know Ben wins. Like, there's no way Ben's not winning the final. They propped his story up so much in the previous episodes that he's making it to the final three. Like you already
but
the whole.
There's no way he wouldn't at that point.
Yeah, the whole editing of the entire season basically, once that was revealed, basically said, okay, Ben is making it to the final three, no matter what.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to be very controversial because there's one thing. I mean, it's great for TV. It makes it look interesting. It makes it more fun. And apparently, this is going to be a twist that we're going to see again in future seasons.
I'm not upset.
I don't believe he actually.
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I don't think you're upset about it yet because you haven't seen, like, we don't know if we're going to have like a Ben-like competitor. But this really feels like they just did this just to keep Ben alive. But I don't really think that's the case. I think they had this planned way before then. That's just my opinion. Just because interviews I've read and like stuff, I believe it's the Hollywood Reporter or Variety, one of those two, or I could be completely wrong. But I know that they have an interview with Jeff and they posted like the day after the show. So one of the things, whenever they revealed Lauren's whole thing with the double advantage, the double vote, like that new advantage, he was going on and on about how before the season starts, they test it out, they play out every possible scenario to make sure it would work. I don't think they would really need to play it out too much with this new advantage, but I don't think it was like implemented just to save Ben, but because of, like you said, the editing and all that, we knew where it was going to lead to. I think it's interesting. I think it was fun, but it was just the problem was that who won is what the issue is.
I
think the twist itself is fine. I just think that like the people who got the twist didn't work well.
I think that if they cut playing the idol down to only being able to do it at the final 6 and not the final 5, the twist would work.
I agree with that.
Would work.
Like I said, it was just the gameplay of the players this season why this twist felt kind of BS. I feel like you had different players, it would have been a pretty damn good twist.
Right, and people next season, I don't know if they're going to know that that twist is in effect because it could. I'm
going to say no just because we already have the previews.
Right, but sometimes like you learn some stuff during the season. They might say, "Oh, and by the way, during the final 4, you pick whatever and blah blah blah." Like it could just be like a very open thing when they get to that point. I don't know. It's going to be interesting, however that plays out. I'm interested in seeing how Ghost Island plays out with that Final 4 situation.
I mean, the whole concept of Ghost Island looks just interesting on its own. I mean, I think from everything that they said, like putting that final twist in Ghost Island just fits with what theme they're going with.
The edit showed Chrissy losing by her treatment of others on the bottom, plus the exit interviews was scathing of Chrissy. Yeah, that's certainly true. A lot of people were not big fans of Chrissy who got voted off. I mean, a lot of.
Hey, we just see like maybe like 15, like a half hour of her at the most, like a week, and these people spent days and days with her, so we never get the full story. That's
true. All right, so back to Survivor. So Chrissy opens up this secret advantage. It basically says that she picks someone to go to the final 3 with her, and the other 2 have to battle out with fire. Her smartest decision at this point was to go to Devin and be like, "Hey, listen, Devin, I'm picking you over Ryan to make the fire because, well, I mean, let's face it, Ryan can't do it."
Yeah.
And plus, they purposely showed Devin waking up in the morning earlier in the episode and making fire. So that was a good little a foreshadowing that they did in the episode. I'm sure a lot of you caught that as well. And Devin goes out and he practices making the fire, and he's like, "Oh no, wait. Me cracking this thing in half means I'm not supposed to practice." Devin.
Oh my God.
Then why? What are you doing?
I mean, Okay, practice makes perfect is what everybody's told that, but I mean, he could have still messed up and lost anyway, but it just makes his loss feel even more just ridiculous.
I know, I know.
When I
Especially
saw that, I was like, dude, you gotta be kidding me. Like, I know you're chill, but like, this is not the moment to be chill.
right. I mean, like, look at Ben. Like, he just goes at fucking everything in this game. Just goes at it head first.
Yeah.
Devin's trying to like chill down and preparing himself mentally, which I understand.
I mean, he's
It's
meditating. I
necessary.
get that. Like, that's necessary in this game, this high stress game, to take a breather and meditate. But it's like, God,
But you have to real he expects himself to be calm during the challenge, but he should know that during this high tense situation, you're not going to be tense anyway. So you might as well practice.
exactly. He wants to stay cool, but he's going to feel the burn, and because he failed, he didn't really feel the burn. Hashtag bad puns.
Hey, so let's go to the immunity. The immunity. Uh, no, not the immunity challenge. Tribal council. Um,
Tribal challenge.
Ben is acting like
We'll call it
it's the end
that.
of the game. He's upset. Like, what do you think Ben is feeling at this point? Like before he finds out about the twist.
Well, we all know what he's feeling. He's like, well, this is the end. He knew that he had to win, otherwise they would have voted him out, and that's completely true. If that twist didn't exist, Ben would have lost. He knew it. Everybody knows it. It's no secret whatsoever.
Right. And I think we would have had. I think
I mean, maybe we would have had the first night where nobody cast ballots and they just straight up said, Ben, you're going home. Like that's how obvious it was that they were just against Ben.
I still argue that the best final three situation would have been Devin, Ryan, and Chrissy in the final three. I think Chrissy probably would have. Actually, I don't know. A lot of people hated Chrissy. I don't know.
I don't know. I think Devin would have won that. I think it would have been between Devin and Chrissy. Ryan would have not gotten a single vote.
Although Ryan would have
You know.
spoke like a champion. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no. Like Ryan's speech was great. I mean, like this guy could sell. Like he should jump from being a bellhop to jumping to sales. This guy's a
Mike
great
Lawrence
speaker.
Idol going on to Ghost Island. Mike said it will never be played. LOL. Jokes on him. True. That's probably part of the reason why they did it. They're probably like, oh, you think this idol's never getting played? Booyah. All right, so fire making competition.
Oh, that would be funny.
Ben takes it home. Ben wins. At this point, like I actually made like the thumbnail for the video right then and there. And I always put the winner. I put three pictures up of the final three, and I always put the winner in the middle before I even knew. Like before I even heard the votes. Like the second he won the fire making challenge, I put Ben's picture right in the middle. I didn't even have to wait. I already
Why would he have lost? Like it was just there's no reason he wouldn't have lost. I mean, the only way I could have saw it going was Chrissy, the whole like them shoving it down her throat to get ready to take a shot. She was, tied for 4 wins as a female for immunity challenge, and I could have seen maybe the women are all voting for her. That did happen with Ashley, and she got one of the vote. I want to say maybe that was Desi, so I could have added to her total, but didn't really matter, I guess.
Yeah, that's very true. All right, so Ben's in the final three. Let's just make us go to the final tribal council now at this point. So right before the final tribal, Ryan basically says, "Yeah, I'm gonna have to like fib a little bit, like make it seem like I did more than I did." And I'm like, wow, like it's rare that a player who in Survivor doesn't think that they're gonna win in the final three. You have the number of seasons I've watched where people who did not play very good games still think they have the best, still think they have a great chance of winning. Like they still think they have it. Ryan is so in tune as a Survivor superfan that he acknowledges.
Yeah, I was about to say he's a true super fan.
I'm an underdog in this and I don't have much of a shot, but I'm going to try my best and say whatever the hell I got to do.
You gotta give the guy credit because he really did a good job with the speech. I know we keep saying that you can make your own shot game based off how many times we say Ryan gave a good speech, but Ryan gave a damn fucking good speech.
So let's jump into that speech now. So he talks about his social game, like how he basically made it to the merge, how he used Devin as a way to like get to Ashley. He just did a very very good job, and Devin backed him up. I think that's a very very important. Like they specifically, people in the jury, they specifically asked Devin, is this true? Like this is kind of like the debate question, because if Devin says no, it would the camera.
Ryan's whole speech would have just died if that happened.
The camera would have went to Ryan's face, and the dun 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 music would have played. Like the oh shit, I'm fucked music would have played.
Exactly.
But Devin's like, no, yeah, that's exactly what happened until we split. Devin got your boy. Devin's got your boy.
I feel like Devin was kind of like fibbing a little bit just to like make Ryan seem a little better. Because I mean, it's true that Ryan did control Devin, but I feel like that was just the early game. Like later on, Devin was playing Ryan. So I was like, why even bother?
Petty says Troyzan knew he lost. He knew he lost at the end of the tribal council, not in the beginning of the tribal council. That's for last season. All right, so keep going, Dave.
Yeah, no, that's all I was saying is that when it came to Ryan and Devin, like the whole thing with that, Devin didn't really need to back. Like Devin was backing up Ryan. What Devin was saying was like only like half true because Ryan only controlled things only in the beginning. Towards the end, Devin started playing Ryan, and then he went back to him.
Yeah.
After he got over the whole, why did you tell Ben you also had an idol thing? Like I said, like their whole bromance came full circle in this whole season.
Yeah, Ryan seemed to lose like a lot of credibility later on in the merge because he was seen as just like a pair with Chrissy at that point. I really think that probably hurt him game-wise, being so close to her.
It did because it was just so bizarre. Because I mean, the other thing that annoyed me with the season was whenever with the advantage and when he gave the advantage to Chrissy, and he's like, "I did it because I wanted to become close to you." Like, you didn't even know who she was when you gave the advantage to her. How did you want to say you became close with her? I mean, it worked, but
well, it was just another one of his lies.
There was.
I remember.
No, I know that, and that's the whole thing. Like he played a good social game in the beginning, and it's just so disappointing to see it all fall apart later on.
So is Survivor. I mean, some people play the tribe game very well, but can't bring.
Same thing. When this show started, I thought Ben was going to be gone before the merge. So
And then they started telling us
he had like no game. Yeah, then we find out his backstory, and it's like, oh, this guy's going to be around a lot longer.
Let's talk about some of Chrissy's speech, because it seemed like people kind of like saying, yeah, you didn't really talk to us strategically on the jury, and like they were kind of upset about that. And then Chrissy starts whipping out like facts about their lives. I don't really understand the relevance. I know, well, although I mean, I guess in her defense, Joe did say, "Tell me something about myself." In her defense,
he did say that, but I mean, not for nothing. Joe was just impressed that she knew that, but even he didn't seem to be like, "Oh, I'm going to vote for you because you know about my life." I mean, there's a difference between being social because you're stuck with people. You always hear like the joke, like, "Hey, if you're stuck with this person on an island, what are you going to do? How are you going to react with them?" Well, guess what? You're going to freaking talk to them because these people really are stuck on an island and it's just them. You have to talk outside the game. There's the social part of just being social, and then there's the social game.
right?
And the social game, Chrissy didn't give to everybody.
Patty says Ryan should have turned on Chrissy at 9 or 10. Yeah, that's true. I mean,
Yeah.
It would have done him better if he sided with maybe Allie instead.
Maybe, but at the same time, the other issue with Ryan was just the fact that he needed to be carried. And with Chrissy there, Chrissy was always the bigger target. It made sense for him to do that because I feel like Ryan also just lost a lot of confidence too.
Yeah, that's. I feel like he had confidence in his group of 7, and that's really what kind of got him at the end.
Yeah,
All right,
and
so
they decided to split into 4.
let's talk about Ben. He didn't really give very good speech at all.
No,
Which I mean, you don't have to technically to win Survivor, but it's nice when you do give one.
Ben's a perfect example of actions speak louder than words.
Yeah, that's exactly right. People were saying, Ben, how we know you looked hard for the idol. Like there was 4 people there. Like why didn't they stop Ben from looking? Um, and said he worked really hard at that. Talked about his family. Talked about PTSD. Um,
He convinced Lauren. That's it. He talked to Lauren into voting for him, but everybody else, I feel like, just saw him based on actions.
yeah, yeah, that's certainly true. Like when Ben said, "You're all sitting there because of me." That's not very good jury management. Like it's blunt true. Um,
I thought he was going to lose. I think that cost him a couple votes.
I thought it did too.
It might have. I mean, didn't cost him enough to lose, but
Scroll up on my joke comment about Chrissy. About the ex about the ex thing with the wife or the baby mama. I mean, I don't know. We'd have to talk to Joe about that. He'll probably make a tweet about it. Or
probably his Twitter's pretty funny,
I love his Twitter. He's fantastic.
especially when he calls out Mike.
I'm really mad that they didn't like the post show. It was so much shorter than it usually was. They usually bring everyone in. They have a very long discussion. It's usually about an hour long. It's supposed to be an hour long. The issue is the episode was a half hour longer than it was supposed to be.
I liked it better this way.
Yeah, I guess so. People prefer an after show because they all get together for that reason. I wanted to hear some of the stuff that Joe had to say personally.
Well, I only would have cared about Joe. I wouldn't have wanted to hear about like the people who got out pre-merge. I really didn't care what they had to say.
Well, I would be curious to hear from like an Alley, or from
Well just only Allie would probably be interesting in my opinion.
yeah, Alley or Roark would probably be interesting too. The first healer gone.
Maybe.
There's a lot of different things because Roark had like the Chrissy thing. They were going at it, so I would have liked to see her her perspective. Like, see, I knew she was going to make it far. I knew she was dangerous. Like kind of like something like that. All right, but back to the game. Were there any questions that like surprised you when the final 3 answered? And then this goes for the chat too. If any of you did any other questions surprise you when the people answered?
Wow. Anything surprised me in particular? What about you? I'm thinking, what surprised you? Anything?
No, nothing surprised me. Other than Ryan's eloquence, nothing
Yeah,
really.
that was surprising.
Um, I
I think what surprised me is like how hard they went on Ryan a little bit with the stuff that he didn't do around camp.
Petty says Desi
But
was very gracious to the winners. That's to the 3 winners. I agree with that completely. Like the jury was not bitter at all. I guess that was very surprising. Usually you have a very bitter jury, and it's like it's just not fun to watch a bitter jury. But they were all very gracious.
not on this show.
Yeah, exactly. They were all very gracious, and it was just it was an enjoyable final.
They all seemed like they were like pretty cool friends. Like, and even with Ben too, who like they all seemed like a bitter enemy. And I think that was in one of the articles I was reading about how like the stuff that we see off screen where Chrissy finds out about people's lives, you know? It's like they all seem like they get along pretty well.
They do. And now you said they were hounding Ryan about his work ethic. Go ahead.
Yeah, about how he was afraid to burn rice. Then Lauren was like, "Yeah, well, we're all afraid of that too." And then Desi's like, "I didn't." She's like, "I've never even seen a machete in my life until now, and I still tried. Like, why aren't you trying?" And that I think is what killed Ryan.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Like, the only vote he got was out of a bromance.
Ryan and Devin, best friends forever. Please. Please. All right, so let's get down to the votes now. So they show 3 of the votes. Let's just get down to like the actual votes. So
Yep.
we have 5-2-1. We know Devin votes for Ryan. We know Ashley votes,
Ashley votes for Chrissy,
and
and Lauren votes for Ben.
right, and we're pretty sure Desi probably also votes for Chrissy.
Yeah.
Or actually,
Probably.
they surrounded it. They Whoever did it wrote the heart around Chrissy, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
And someone else
Does Desi?
wrote a heart around the name during the final 5 vote. I don't know.
I don't. I don't really think it matters too much. I mean, I would love to know who voted for who, but it is what it is.
I mean, we'll find out in like an hour or so.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah. Okay. So Ben wins the game.
I mean, we know Joe and Mike voted for Ben, obviously. Well,
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah, we know Joe did. So Ben wins the game to the surprise of no one because everyone knew from since like the top 8 basically that if Ben made it to the end, he was winning. There's nothing.
I think Ryan was surprised he got a vote.
Sonic Case 24 says hi. Hi. JP and Ashley voted Chrissy. That's what Patty said. JP did. Wow. Maybe JP and Ashley.
I could see that
at Ponderosa. Maybe.
I don't know. I still ship Ashley and Devin. They just seem like 2 cool surfer people.
I don't know if
I don't know.
I don't know. We don't know if they made up now because they cut off the after show.
All right, I get it. The after show is important, but that challenge was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, so yeah, Ben wins 5-2-1. I thought it was very nice how they brought out his old like war buddies to talk about the PTSD issue a little bit more, and they put the screen on. Jeff, I mean, Dave, I think you told me, like you messaged me like sometime at some point on the episode, Jeff is very good at his job.
Oh yeah, I said that whenever he was with the girl, like the little girl who we don't know who she voted for to win.
And they showed it, Ben.
Oh, it was Ben?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, my bad. I guess I turned my head at that point. But yeah, no, I was saying, yeah, because like he's like Jeff is like just super into everything he does with this. It's like it's probably like the best host I've seen on anything.
Ooh, Patty says Ashley went to Mexico with Devin for a charity event. It looks like your dreams of coming.
Ooh. It's not really. It doesn't really matter to me. I mean, I ship the 2 of them because like they look like they belong together. I mean, my dreams would go a totally different way, but
both so it makes sense. All right, so
what's up?
I said they're both surfers.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
All right. I guess so.
All right, so let's go into let's talk about this Ghost Island thing. Now, like when they originally showed that, I thought, "Oh, damn, they're bringing back Eric again for a third season because they brought him back in season 26 as well." Actually, my original impression, because this is what they usually do. Season 16 was a fans versus favorites. Season 26 was a fans versus favorites. So you would think that just friends, guys. That's what Patty said. All right, well,
I still got a chance. What? Let's keep going.
So I thought season 36 would also be a fans versus favorites because I thought they would do it every 10 seasons. But no, it looks like they're going a completely different direction here. They're bringing back odes to like previous seasons with new players, and I don't know how I feel about it because I don't know how they're gonna play it. Like it sounds interesting to watch.
I
But
mean, the only thing I don't like is you already see the advantage that super fans are going to have.
yeah,
I mean, they already have an advantage already, but I feel like you just give super fans an extra advantage. But I mean, it's not. I guess we'll find out in spring.
yeah. I mean, are they gonna bring back both of James's idols? What are they gonna do with Eric's immunity? Is that gonna be like the immunity necklace at the final five? Like I don't really know what's gonna happen here.
Yeah, I'm really curious how that's going to work too. I mean, this season we just watched is pretty straightforward with some interesting twists, but like the next season's like literally gimmicks.
Yeah,
So
it could be done very very well. It could be, and
I have faith. I mean, I'm sure at least one or two of these twists I'm not going to like just because it's just going to probably seem wrong, but it'll be very interesting to watch, which is what matters most.
yeah. And Ghost Island. I mean, maybe they bring back like Redemption Island or something along those lines. I mean, I don't know. They could
I
go.
just know that whenever I see
Go ahead.
no, I just know whenever I see Lawrence Burn idol, I'm literally just going to burst out laughing. Because when Mike did that, I'm still like just mind blown that that happened.
I was dead. I love Mike so much. Yes, it's going to be awesome. You got to be a survivor player to learn from the past mistake, not a recruit. That's really it right there. Maybe it is maybe the gimmick is that it's called Ghost Island and it's just a pure fan season. Like everyone's a fan of the game, and
Yeah,
they
that would be better.
because that would be consistent with season 16 and 26 with 36, and it would also like it would also go bring back like odes to those seasons because we know in fan versus favorite seasons that the favorites always win. Like it's
It,
just a little
yeah,
that. So maybe just like a pure fan season. Maybe that's what this. Maybe that's what the people here are.
I'm cool with that. I mean, I like the fact they said it's all new people. It's always fun to watch the new people learn how to play. So
Yeah, and then for them to all come back together in like probably season 37 or something because they love bringing players back, and I love watching it, frankly.
yeah, and I mean, hey, because you people like you love watching it. It's what they do for ratings. All what it's about.
Yep, that's exactly right. All right, so I think we'll end it off here. Um, I want to thank you guys. Do you guys think Ben is good enough to come back for an all winners season? I don't think they would ever do an all winners season. Actually, I mean, at this point, they probably could.
I
Would Ben
mean,
come back?
this many seasons now. I mean, 35 seasons. So like, why not just try everything?
Yeah, I think Ben would probably come back. There's no doubt in my mind he
I'll
would
be
come.
back.
Yeah, very few people wouldn't come back, I think. All right. What was I saying? Okay, so I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I want to thank you guys. I want to thank those of you that have watched all of our episodes or even a few of our episodes. Uh, you guys,
Just thank you for watching.
you guys mean the world to us. We're so thankful to have you guys as fans of ours, and we will be covering, as Dave pitched in the middle of this, at the very appropriate time, because if we do it all at the end, people just click off. We will be
Yeah.
recapping The Amazing Race, Celebrity Big Brother, and of course, Survivor, Ghost Island. Scary stuff, and Big Brother 20. We'll be doing it all, and maybe some other stuff if you guys have
You
any
know,
questions.
all the stuff that would fall under the reality room banner. We're on it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Um,
And CBS, basically.
it's all CBS all the time. It's basically
Yep. We're not sponsored. We should be.
we probably, yeah. I mean, It is what it is. A lot of people do this.
All right, so back to pitching. Point is, come back. We'll be back on 2 weeks whenever Amazing Race comes back on, or whatever it is. January 3rd.
And we're excited to see Jess and Cody. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I've never watched The Amazing Race before. I've never watched it, so I'm gonna probably catch up on a few seasons in the next couple of weeks, and then watch this new season. So it might.
I've seen enough to hold my own, but I'm probably gonna watch a little bit too, just to make sure I know what I'm talking about more.
It won't be it won't be the most informative podcast, but it'll be fun, and we hope you join us for that. All right. So,
and actually, it probably will be pretty informative. All right, so I guess we should end it off. Keep tweeting Tommy Wiseau for Celebrity Big Brother, and we'll see what happens.
You're dead. Dave. All right, and until the new year, have happy holidays, and a happy new year. Peace.